Along a dark seashore beneath the cliffside village of Positano, 12 women, aged 6 to 44, were seated in a circle. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, the waxing moon directly overhead. One of the women stood breaking the circle. Her hair was the colour of vermilion, as it had been since birth. Fully clothed, she walked waist-high into the water. A belemnite fossil clutched between her fingers, she plunged her hands beneath the waves and began to move her lips, reciting the first part of the incantesimo di riflusso she'd learned as a child. Within moments, the undercurrent she'd conjured began to swirl at her ankles, tugging southward, away from her. She shuffled her way out of the water and back onto the shore. A second woman, with lighter hair, the colour of persimmon, stood from the circle. She too approached the ocean and plunged her hands beneath the surface. She recited her silent spell on the sea, satisfied as the undercurrent grew even stronger. She gazed out at the horizon, a steady black line where the sky met the sea, and smiled. Like the other villagers along the coast tonight, these women knew what was coming, a fleet of pirate ships making their way northeast from Tunis. Winds were favourable, their sources said, and the flotilla was expected within the next day. Their destination? Perhaps Capri, Sorrento, Maggiore. Some thought maybe even Positano, maybe, finally, Positano. Given this, fishermen all along the Amalfi coastline had decided to remain at home with their families tomorrow and into the night. It wouldn't be safe on the water. The destination of these pirates was unknown, and what they sought was a mystery as well. Greedy pirates went for all kinds of loot. Hungry pirates went for nets full of fish. Lustful pirates went for the women. On the seashore, a third and final woman stood from the circle. Her hair was the rich, deep hue of blood. Quickly she undressed. She didn't like the feeling of wet fabric against her skin, and these women had seen her naked 1,000 times before. Belemnite fossil in one hand, she held the end of a rope in her other, which was tied to a heavy anchor in the sand, a short distance away. She would be the one to recite the final piece of this current curse. Her recitation was the most important, the most potent, and after it was done, the ebbing undercurrent would be even more severe, hence the rope, which she would wrap tightly around herself before finishing the spell. It was perilous, sinister work. Still, of the 12 women by the water tonight, 20-year-old Mari de Luca was the most befitting for this task. They were streghe del mare, sea witches with unparalleled power over the ocean. They boasted a magic found nowhere else in the world, a result of their lineage having descended from the sirens who once inhabited the tiny Ligalli islets nearby. The women knew that tomorrow, wherever the pirates landed, it would not be Positano. The men would not seize their goods, their food, their daughters. No matter how the pirate ships rigged their sails, they would not find easy passageway against the undercurrent the women now drew upward from the bottom of the sea. They would turn east or west. They would go elsewhere. They always did.